what is this podcast about? It probably would help if you don't chew into the mic.
My name is Libby.
My name is Luke.
In this new episode.
This
new season.
And we are going to be focusing completely on weddings.
We are, in fact, the Wedding Pirates.
There's no other podcast like this. I've looked. I've checked.
And we have a cat. Her name is Stella.
We want to share all the secrets when it comes to weddings.
The one where we talk. Wedding edition. Hello, and welcome back to the one where we talk wedding season. The one where we're talking about weddings, this entire season 2 of our podcast. Today we are talking about wedding? Yeah, wedding, that's a word.
Editing styles.
I was thinking about the word editing and I said wedding and then it just didn't sound weird. It sounded weird. I don't know. Editing styles within the wedding industry.
Well, really, this kind of pans across all different kinds of industries, I think, as an artist. Because somebody, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is a painter. And when you decide you want to paint, what's the first thing you do? You go and take a class, but that class isn't going to necessarily fit your style because you just want to learn how to paint.
Mm-hmm. Style comes in later after you've figured out how to paint, different mediums, what's your favorite medium.
And then you learn because you go to a class or you learn the skill of doing the thing, and then you pinpoint a style.
Right. So it's like when you think of famous artists like Van Gogh or Monet.
Yeah. They didn't start with that. Like, he didn't just decide, I'm going to paint one day, I'm an artist, and then did the Starry Night.
Because they have two different styles of painting. And they figured out their painting, I don't know, probably years after they've started learning how to paint.
Yeah, and it takes about, usually when you ask a photographer or a videographer, it usually takes about 10 years to nail down your style.
Consistently, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you do a wedding, this one wedding is not going to look the same as the next wedding.
Right.
As far as, like, the style that the bride goes with or, like, the colors that she chooses in her wedding.
Because eventually, brides just picking a certain kind of style or a certain kind of vibe will only choose you.
Right.
So somebody that is choosing blush pink and whites and light greens, they're not going to come after you because most likely the editing style they're looking for is bright and airy. Right. That's not something we do. Mm-hmm. Whereas in someone that's going to be picking deep maroons, forest greens,
just like more earthy tones.
Yeah, earthy tones, maybe some hints of gold. That person's going to probably land on our page and want to hire us because we do the dark, moody, dark academia style.
Right.
Or royal core is really what we're aiming for. But, it takes time to not only nail that style, but also nail that bride.
We are not nailing any brides. Thank you very much. Wow. We are a wedding industry. Nothing else.
How else do you think what other kind of videos do you think I'm editing on?
What?
How do you think I've been paying the bills? I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Wow. That took a turn. Like, just 90 degrees.
How are we consistently eventually, you need to start consistently booking the brides with a certain kind of style of their wedding.
Yes. We're not nailing brides. Let me just make that clear.
Nothing to do with nailing brides.
No.
I promise. Or the grooms.
Yeah. We're not nailing anyone except each other.
Anyway, so where were we? That was
you have to... Certain people that are looking to get married and have a wedding are going to be looking for... Well, they should be looking for a certain photography editing style.
Yeah. And what's probably the most difficult is being in this industry, and if you do have a slight, over the course of years, your editing changes, things change in your editing style, perhaps your name even changes, so adjusting and bouncing around in your edits and using that on your portfolio can be a little bit confusing to a lot of brides because your style will change kind of year to year because you're still pinpointing your editing style. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it takes a minimum of a decade to nail that style that
I don't know if I'd say decade. For some people, it can take a decade. For
most
some people,
photographers that I've talked to have said it takes a minimum of 10 years at least. Because, I mean, which makes sense, because if you think about it, most photographers start straight out of high school, they're 18, they start doing weddings, they get to age 28,
yeah, but I feel like it
30.
also depends on how much you educate yourself and take classes and stuff. So if you're really invested into doing that kind of stuff, then you could really
But then you
nail
have
down your
different kinds of
style
learners.
faster.
Oh, okay.
Because you're able to figure out how to get the style that you want.
Right.
Because you're learning.
But you have different kinds of learners.
Yes,
Though,
that's
so
true.
people are going to learn things at different paces. For example, I know a guy who's been doing videographer for 12 plus years.
Been doing videographer.
Been doing videographer. He's not doing any videographers. This podcast is a weird one. We're not nailing or doing anyone, and nobody's doing me.
Excuse me.
Well, except for you. You're doing me. I mean, outside of you and me, nobody's doing or nailing anything. This is a good one. This is a gem. This one's a gem.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
You knew a videographer who was doing videography.
Yeah, he talked to me at a wedding, and he looked up my stuff. He said, "Wow, how did you learn to do this?" I said, I've been editing since it was before it was a thing. Back when they just told you, "Oh, nerds do that." When everybody was making fun of me for making my movies and learning how to edit, taking things from actual videotape, and putting that onto a digital format to edit it. That was brand new when I was first starting, and that's where I started. So with me, it's a little bit of a different story because I've been editing since I was 9, since I was being taught, and so that's a little bit different story. But for you started taking pictures out of high school, so you have more of a classic story.
I didn't start editing till I was in college because I took one solo photography class just because I needed to take an elective of some sort my freshman year, and photography has always been something that interests me, and I've just always loved it. And I was at a community college my freshman year, so there wasn't a whole lot of options for electives, so I took a photography class, learned a lot, but that was when I got my first introduction to like Photoshop and editing softwares and stuff like that.
So that's where you kind of started.
Yeah.
But you were taking pictures before that.
I was taking pictures like I did my brother's senior pictures. They were awful when I looked back at them.
Yeah. I've looked back at them like, oh dang, these are bad.
Yeah, my poor brother. I mean, he had some good pictures that he was able to print and use for his wallet-sized senior picture handing out thing.
That was a thing. Keep on forgetting that was a thing.
I don't know if that's still a thing or not.
The wallet-size photos
that you give to your classmates.
Who, dude? Why would you? I still think about you're giving me I'm allowed to have a picture of you in my wallet.
Yeah,
it's kind of an intimate space. I mean
I gave. Well, my class was a size of 18, so I gave everybody in my class. I let them pick from 5 different photos that I had taken in France. Actually, I had my senior pictures taken in France.
Yeah, but
that sounds super bougie and rich, but I'm not. I was there for a missions trip or something. Don't think that I was there in Paris gallivanting, taking fancy.
Just getting my senior photos.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No, and there was a picture of me walking down a street.
Yeah, and you had a nice booty shot.
And a lot of the boys picked that picture for them to have of me. So
because they want to remember your ass.
There are pictures of me with my ass in a nice dress that some boys have.
It was it was like a maxi skirt.
It was a maxi dress.
Yeah.
A blue and white striped maxi
Walking
dress.
away, and then
looking
forever
back.
Yeah, and forever they'll just picture you that way. She got away, just walked away, that ass hanging
Smiling.
out, and smiling. I got you. You're mine. Anyway, why are we talking about that? We're talking about editing styles.
Because I was the one that took my brother's senior pictures.
Oh, okay.
And
you didn't really edit those at all, did you?
No. I didn't have any way of editing back then.
So
I
where
just
would you
uploaded them onto the computer and send them to a photo place to get printed.
Wow.
Walmart, I believe it was.
That's how it used to be done. There wasn't really any editing. Editing didn't really come along.
Back in 2000 and...
What was that?
12.
Yeah, I was gonna say the style. That 2013 style. 2013 was the year that a lot of things tipped. the hipsters, the photography.
Well, back in 2012, the thing to get your picture taken on was railroad tracks.
Yeah.
Between like 2008 and 2012.
Talking about the editing style.
Oh.
The coloring. Remember,
I don't remember what the coloring was.
Williard.
Williard.
R. Williard. She had a style of photography that was the thing. That she had this style, and she started around the same time. That, like, right out of high school, I mean. She had that style, high highlights, sharp shadows, a warm tone. That's what all of her
John's
photos.
senior pictures were like a cool tone. They were darker shadows and high highlights. But
high contrast. That she was at the beginning of that. I was trying to think of like maybe that.
I actually took John's senior pictures on a Fujifilm. My first one.
Yeah, first Fujifilm.
Before we bought ours in 2016.
But my point is that around 2013 is when that warm style started coming in with very sharp shadows and high highlights.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of bright and airy, but not really. It wasn't. That didn't really start till 2018.
The warm tones?
No, the bright and airy.
Oh yeah.
It was like 2018. Warm tones started 2013 because that's around the time where Lightroom started to become more accessible. It was accessible, kind of, but you still had Lightroom Classic, and that was basically Adobe, and it kind of spilled into Lightroom Mobile, and so editing was very accessible for people. So people were able to nail down their editing style. I should really find another
term.
Verb. Yeah.
So the reason why we edit the way we edit, in my photos I edit more darker tones. I don't really like bright and airy because I feel like bright and airy is just too washed out. The colors are not, they're just too bright, and I'm not.
It's too much.
I'm more of an earth tones person, and that's kind of my personality. I like the rust color and the deep forest greens, and that's just colors that I tend to gravitate towards. And that's just kind of my own personality. Like I'm more of a subdued person, and I feel like my editing style is definitely it carries on into my style of who I am as a person, and my personality translates into my editing style. And so I really like a lot of like earth tones in my photography editing, and just deeper, richer tones, and nothing that's too washed out, no highlights that are too.
You can still see the subject. That's the
a lot
the
of
biggest
bright
thing.
and if you look at a lot of bright and airy photos, you'll see a lot of photos.
Stella's trying to get into areas where she
cute.
shouldn't be.
That's cute. No, in a lot of bright and airy photos, if you look at the bride's dress, you can't even see the detail.
Yeah.
In the bride's dress, and that just that bugs me.
Because what did your dress look like?
Yeah, it's like, why is one half of my dress you can't even see the detail, and the other half you can see the detail, but it's not very. Yeah.
And you can argue it's a piece of art. No, it's not. You know how you edit bright and airy?
Yeah, you just turn everything up.
You just turn everything up.
The highlights, the contrast.
You turn everything up, like Palooza, like Lollapalooza, and nobody likes Lollapalooza because everybody does drugs. So you just turn everything up. That's just what it is. Bright and airy is just Lollapalooza on drugs. Fuck bright and airy. Anyway, I have a sticker with that. If you would like it, you can message us, and I will send it to you personally. I'll even put a stamp on it.
Well, you have to put a stamp on a mail.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Sunday.
But if I didn't put a stamp on it, it wouldn't get to them. So I'll even put a stamp on it. You're welcome.
Just contradicted yourself.
Yes, I know. That's the joke. From my style, I would say that I usually just tell people, like, when they ask, "What's your style?" Classic cinema. Things that it carries a clear story. You know where you are, what's happening. You feel the emotion. You see the emotion. You hear the emotion, and you're carried through a piece of cinema. That's my style.
Story.
The story.
Because your wedding day is a story.
it creates itself. I don't have to direct the scene. The scene just happens in front of me, and then I just film it.
Right.
My job as an editor is to put it together. When it comes to coloring is more not super important when it comes to video. It is important if you are doing a movie to communicate certain emotions, but I'm not setting up a lot of the lighting for the situations that I'm in at a wedding.
The wedding day kind of has one emotion. Happy. Should be. Usually it has one emotion.
Yeah.
Happy and excited. I mean, you get some tears, but those are happy tears usually.
Yeah. You get serene.
Because in movies, they usually tend to carry color across for the audience to have certain emotions about what's happening.
Yeah.
Like you were just watching a movie. You were just watching a YouTube video about, or was it me that was watching it? I don't remember.
I was watching it.
One of us was watching a YouTube video about coloring in movies and how it makes the audience, the person watching the movie, how it makes them feel, and how you can't really tell that the colors are changing in a movie, like going from blue as in like
safety
and like,
and then all of a sudden
and it turns to red, and you know that the red is like danger.
Yep.
Like in there's a movie that was about a pandemic of some sort.
Yeah.
And the red was like
yellow.
Or yellow people were in hazmat suits and sickness, and then the blue was safety.
Mm-hmm.
And how you can't really tell in the movie that's changing from yellow to blue to yellow to blue.
It's a subconscious communication that's happening in your brain to make you enjoy this piece of cinema.
Right. Carry across emotions.
Exactly. You don't notice that it's happening. It's the same thing with camera angles. Camera angles, I was explaining this to you. What movie were we watching? I don't remember what we were watching. But in camera angles, positioning your subject in a frame. So, for example, if your subject is in the middle of the frame, they're placed in a position of authority. You take that same subject and you move it out of you move it out of the center of the frame, and all of a sudden that person is not an authority anymore. And usually that happens when someone is scared or doesn't know where to go. Another aspect of that is leading lines. People think, oh yeah, it's just lines pointing to the subject. Kind of, yes and no. It doesn't always point to the subject, because it's always lines basically communicate how a subject feels. So when you have direct lines leading straight to the subject, you know where the subject's supposed to walk. You know where they're supposed to go. You know where they're going. When you see subjects, so for example, walking down a hallway, you know the subject's going to walk down the hallway. You take that same subject, you put them on a giant mansion staircase with railings and lines going up and down and all over the place. You don't really have a clear line of sight where the subject's going to go, so you creates confusion. This is why I like horror, is because real horror, classic horror, is actually going to take all these things into an account.
Right.
And this is editing style. This is your take. It's not just play around with the colors and see what you like, and that might change eventually. It's our personality developing as we go, as our education goes on with videography, photography. We change ourselves as well, our personalities, because you mature, you become more wise, you just your entire, all the cells in your body are changing, for crying out loud. So
yeah, every 7 years.
Yeah, so you yourself are changing, so therefore your style is going to change and develop and mature.
Yeah, and the more you educate yourself, the more you know, oh, I can put this little blurb of information that I just learned about cinematography, I can put that in this wedding video to help create the specific emotion or whatnot, or feeling. Or.
And honestly, in wedding photography and videography, like you said, the main emotion is happiness, so we don't really have to create those different colorings of making sure that we're communicating certain emotions, because it's already happening in front of us. We didn't write the script for this day. It's just happening.
Right.
But it's good to keep all that into account. The one thing that we need to keep track of, that if you haven't listened to our episodes about how we talk about AI, that is something that's very prominent in the wedding industry, is making sure it's not even editing style. It's the fact that you're not even doing this style anymore. You're just letting AI learn the colors and slap them on there and calling it good. Same, luckily they haven't done that with video yet, but it's close. It's going to be close.
Right.
But photography, that's why photographers are a dime a dozen. We're killing, because you're spending less time on your photos and you're touching things less. you're actually killing the industry. And everybody's complaining about wedding photography prices being driven down. You're driving the prices down because you're making everything too fucking easy. That's why it's being driven down. And yeah, that's great for everybody, but you're gonna have to figure out how to make a living and do 50 weddings, 55 weddings a year at $1,000 a piece. Have fun.
Right.
So I'm not gonna support AI. I never will.
Yeah.
It doesn't even write good papers, so. Right now, real quick, where would you say your style is before we close out?
What do you mean?
Right now, like, how would you describe your style right now, where you're at? Would you say you're comfortable with it, or would you say you're still on a journey?
I'm getting closer to where I want it to be. I'm still learning a lot about editing and coloring and stuff like that. And a lot of editing, it has to do with the pre-production of, like, when you're taking the photo, making sure that you're setting up your camera for the style that you're going for to edit it in. So, and not every wedding is the same. Like, sometimes you're going to be taking pictures outside in the direct sunlight, and you have to account for that to be more of a brighter photo because the sun is shining right on your subjects. Whereas in a cloudy days editing is super easy. I can edit those pictures in no time, and my style is pretty on par with what I want it to look like on a cloudy day. It's like those brighter days that are a bit more of a challenge for me that I'm trying to figure out.
So you would say that right now it depends on the wedding?
Yeah, kind of depends on the wedding. But I'm getting closer and closer to what I want my product to look like in the end. And
yeah, I would say I'm in the same boat. When it comes to coloring video, it looks completely different than coloring photo. Remember, I was trying to explain to you how it works. In video, you have nodes and you have to create layers if you actually want color on a video because it's a moving subject. So it looks a little bit different. So it can be a little bit more challenging. I would say that I've kind of got things down to a more natural look. But
yeah, I like your style of coloring that you've got going on.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's still developing, and I'm excited for where it's going. But it's honestly my biggest point with coloring is just going to be it being natural. And the one thing that I actually want to develop is the shots that I'm getting. I want to create moments that are worth having in memory forever. And if you're just telling the groom to touch his tie and you're telling the bride and groom to hug, kiss, okay, good.
So boring.
It's so boring. I want to create scenes and prompt emotion.
Yeah.
And motion.
Emotion and motion.
Yes.
Same for my photography.
Those are the photos that create amazing things.
Yeah.
Good prompts that are just conversational and less directive create the best moments.
Right.
Ooh, should put that on something. What did I say?
I don't know. I have to go back and listen to it.
Okay. Thanks for listening. Remember, you could rate this podcast 5 stars if you want, if you got something out of it, or if you think somebody else can get something out of this.
Or if you think this podcast totally sucks.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway.
Just be honest with us.
Yeah. Fuck you. I'm just kidding.
No, we are all about honesty on this podcast.
You're right. I want you to be honest.
And we want people to be honest with us.
Yes. I agree. I really do agree. I really do want people to be honest with us. Just on a social media platform, it's always like, okay.
Why?
Because ratings are currency in the social media
Yes, that's
world.
why you have to hold yourself to a high standard.
That's deep. That's really deep. But we don't have time for another episode right now. So remember that you can rate this podcast. We also have a YouTube channel, and we are also on social medias, Facebook, Broadside Visuals, The Wedding Pirates, and we also have our day-to-day life bus named Smalls. It's a little less formal. And this is the one where we talk.
And have a wonderful